Oh, hi. Welcome back to our video. Once again, my name is Alan Parks. The part of Mark Larson will be played today by Frank, the stuffed harbor seal. And we are the smart feller, I guess. Anyhow, so we're going to do a solo show today, and it's part 2 of my amplifier is broken, and we're going to fix it. So, here's the story. In the first video, we figured out that it was a broken speaker. So, all well and good. I sent off for a new speaker, and then we got some information. A helpful person in the comments of our video, as a matter of fact, said, I don't think it's the speaker. You should have the amplifier looked at. It might be, and he listed a couple problems. I can't remember exactly what they were. So it's like, okay. So I actually had ordered the speaker, and it sat in my front room in the box for quite a while. And I sent the amplifier section. I pulled the amplifier out of the box, and I sent it up to VST up in Arcadia, California. I'll set a link to the Markbass repair website of authorized Markbass repairmen. They are all over the United States, and there's only a couple or three in California, and that was the closest one to me. So they were super cool, really helpful. Well, they had it hooked up on the amplifier, hooked up on their bench, wanted to load into it and everything. And they couldn't find any problems with it. It worked just fine for them. And they had it for several weeks. I have a backup amplifier. So I said, okay, well, I don't know, send it on back. So it cost me a little bit of money to not have my amplifier repaired, but I learned that it's not the problem of the amplifier. So I called US Speaker, and I got a speaker back. So I've got the speaker. The amplifier is mounted back in the box, and it still rattles just like the first video. So we're going to put a new speaker in, and we're going to see if that actually fixes it. So it came right here. So set you aside, Frank. We're going to open this bad boy up. And once again, this came from US Speaker. It's in New Jersey. And I spoke with Al, who was extremely cool, super helpful. I will set a link in the description for US Speaker. So if you need a speaker, I can recommend him. He's super duper cool. Was really nice, really, really helpful. He was describing the speaker, and he was saying that it's pretty much describing it as an upgrade to the Markbass speaker. Markbass speakers are kind of low mid-rangey kind of, and this apparently has better response at the bottom end. Ooh, bubble wrap. So let's pop this. Oh boy. Let's pop this bad boy out somehow, if I can get a grip on it. Here we go. See what we got here. We have some gaskets. And nothing else in there in particular. And we have the speaker itself. So it's an unboxing video as well as a sequel, as well as a repair video. And we'll see. Hopefully this fixes my problem. I really miss my Markbass amp. Okay, a 12-inch Fatale Pro. Fatale, it's Italian, like Markbass is. 600 watt at 8 ohms. It's a 12 PR320. I'll give you a link. Just click the link in the bottom. Very nice. It looks like a cast speaker frame, neodymium speaker magnet. So it's pretty light. These are pretty fancy jacks. I'll have to figure those out. Hopefully I can do this on my own. So next step, I believe, is to take the speaker out of my amp. Sound good to you, Frank? Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to move you over here for now. I think for this section, we're just going to go into fast motion so that you don't have to watch me take the speaker out. Here we go. Okay, so I've got the speaker unscrewed and everything, and it's just these two little terminals to pull out, and they're going to be difficult, so I'm going to get a pair of pliers. And gently pull these bad boys off of here. All right. I'll twist this just a little bit. So in case you're curious, that's the inside. Little circuit board here. The amplifier's behind this wall. Wires, plugs, insulation. Looks like every other amplifier inside. So I've got to figure out these. Well, it looks like it'll fit there. That's encouraging. Figure out these. Oh! 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 Let's get a close-up of that. So what we have here is we have little push connectors. See that hole there? Right? Feed the wire in there. Well, you push this down, you feed the wire in there, you let go, and it clamps it. So it's a little spring connector. That's pretty spiffy. I think I would prefer the push-on connectors, but, you know, that's what they gave me, so I guess that's what I'm going to have to use. Okay, so those are the connectors. Those are kind of strange. Have you ever seen anything like that, Frank? No, me neither. So, wow, I really hate to strip those wires. So, yeah, the black goes to the black and red goes to the red. They're color-coded. Well, I am just afraid I am going to have to strip those wires. But you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break from the filming and I'm going to go to YouTube and see about these little push-on connectors for these speakers. So I will pass on the information to you. Sound like a good idea, Frank? Thought so. Be right back. Okay, I'm back after doing a little research. My research assistant let me down. Shame on you, Frank. Can't get good help these days. So, okay, so as far as I could tell, I have to strip those wires, push this down, put it in the hole, release the push button. As far as I can tell, that's the move. So I'm going to do that. And I can already hear people in the comments screaming at me that I'm doing it wrong. I did some research on YouTube. Oh, by the way, the amplifier is unplugged. I did some research on YouTube. I did some research on the interwebs. And the closest I could find was how to wire up banana plugs with the same thing, only it was a twist connection. And I've seen something similar to this, like for, solderless connections, like George L's cables and such. So I'm hoping that this is right. If not, it's just wire. I can fix it, I'm sure. So please don't tell me I'm a dummy in the comments, because I know. So so I'm going to strip these wires down, and I am going to just wire that up the way I think it's right. So here we go. I wish I had one of those nice wire stripper things. You just go ka-chunk, but I don't. All I've got is a pair of nippers here, and they're dull. You think this is painful, you ought to see me solder stuff. Not good. All right, there's the red wire. There's the black wire. Gently. Kidding. Kidding. Did I fool you, Frank? Yeah, fooled Frank. So, let's get these suckers. Oh, I have got to get a new pair of these diagonal cutters. Hey, there we go. So I've got the ends stripped down to bare wire. I'm going to twist them up nice and neat. This nice thick wire. All right. I think we should probably get close-ups of this. So these wires are a little shorter than I would like, but they're bundled up down there in with a wire tie to keep them from rattling around. And I'm reluctant to actually pull them out of that. I don't want to be as low impact as humanly possible, though. Look what I'm doing. All right, so push the button down, hook the wire in the hole, let it back up, making sure that it's contacting the metal. Do that with both sides. I'm sorry if my hand's in the way. Oops, I missed. Okay. Maybe I should edit that joke out. Okay, well, they're in. Seem to be fairly sturdy. I guess the next step is to get this sucker in here. Now, they sent me these things, and I can only assume that they go around here. But you know what? I'm going to leave those off because there's fuzz all the way around here. Okay, I got the screws in with the driver. I'm going to go through. I didn't tighten them terribly hard with the driver. I'm going to give them a final cinch down with a standard screwdriver. And you don't strip anything out accidentally like that. All right. Okay, well, I've got my new speaker wired in there. Before I go to the bother of putting the screen grill over it, I think it's time to test it out. So, let's get it plugged in. See if it works. I grabbed my 5-string bass so that we can check the very bottom end of things. See how it goes. Got all the controls sitting are flat. Let's power up. Bass is probably going to be out of tune because I just picked it up. All right, it made it familiar little clicking sound, meaning that the amp is actually on. I'm going to set my gain to where I normally do. I'm going to set my volume up just a bit. Seems to work. So I've got the controls flat on my bass. I've got the controls flat, the tone controls flat on the amplifier, and it seems to be doing the job. I'm going to turn the volume down just a bit, and I'm going to bump the lows like I do. It seems to have some really crisp high end. Oh my God. So, good thing I don't do a lot of that. I think I'm going to have to roll off some top end. Too much. It's actually a pretty high volume. It's not turned up very much. That's the thing about these Markbass amps. They're pretty powerful. So in general, I usually bump up the bass on my bass, the bass frequency, the bass knob on my bass. It's got a very nice bottom end to it that doesn't seem to be available on the EQ on the Markbass, which is unfortunate. But I've got it here. It's making stuff in my shop rattle. Something rattling back there. So it looks like a success. Now, a couple of caveats to this whole thing is when I sent my amplifier off to VST and they looked at it for a while. They sent it back. I put it back in the cabinet. It seemed to work for a while, and then it started making the buzzing noise again. Okay, so I don't know what was going on. I plugged it into another cabinet that's also rated for 600 watts, 8 ohms, and it sounded fine. So that's why I wanted to get a new speaker. So I'm going to have to test drive this for a while. I have a rehearsal tonight, and I have some gigs this coming weekend, so I will be doing on-the-job testing. Okay, so I will be doing that. Now, also, I should say that if you are uncomfortable taking a screwdriver to your amplifier or your gear and doing this sort of stuff yourself, don't. Okay? My gear, I can mess it up if I want to. If I mess it up, I have to pay the price, which is to have a pro fix it. And not only have a pro fix it, but I have to pro fix my mistakes, which is really embarrassing. But there you go. It's how you learn, right? It's how I learned. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Once again, thank you so much to VST Technologies for looking at my amplifier and figuring out that there was nothing wrong with it. Oh well. And thank you very, very much to Al at US Speaker for helping so much. He was extremely helpful, and I highly recommend US Speaker. So if you need a replacement speaker for a Markbass amplifier, give Al a call at US Speakers. Links are in the description below. So what do you think, Frank? That's what I thought. So that wraps it up for now. Once again, my name's Alan Parks. This is Frank the Harbor Seal, and I am a smart feller, which sounds really lame. And I will see you next time. Bye. Good job, Frank.